Hello everyone, welcome. I hope you're all having a fabulous day. Today we are having a collab hop with Scrappy Tails Crafts and Pear Blossom Press, and I'm super excited to be a part of it. I'm going to start off by showing you the beautiful products I'll be using to create my card today. This stamp set is from Scrappy Tails Crafts and it's called Fairy Girl. It's a 4x4 stamp. I was just enchanted with this stamp when I first saw it. I love all of the beautiful, intricate details. It has some really cute sentiments to go along with it. And the next thing I'm going to use is this cover plate die. It's an A2 cloud frame cover plate, and it includes all of these cute elements on the inside, stars and clouds and a moon, even a shooting star. The cover plate has some really cute stitched details around the outside and along the clouds. From Pear Blossom Press, let's start out by showing you their collapsible bag. You can store all of your markers or pens or pencils in here, and it has a zip closure at the top. And then when you need to use your markers, you can just pull the top down and you can see what's inside your bag. You can sit it right on your desk while you're working. It's just fabulous. So inside the bag, I have a set of their essential gel pens, and this includes a white, a gold, and a silver. And last but not least, I have a set of their 5-pack Easy Lights. I have never tried these before, and I don't know why, because they are so easy and fun to use. But you'll get to see me try these out for the first time in this video. It just adds magic to the card. So let's get started with a little bit of stamping and coloring. The sentiments in this set say, wishing you a magical day. And the other one says, all you need is faith, trust, and a little pixie dust. So cute. So I'm going to stamp my Fairy Girl onto a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock using some VersaFine Onyx Black ink. This is a great ink to use if you're going to emboss your image, because it stays wet and sticky enough to hold on to your embossing powder. I do stamp this up several times. It's such an intricate, detailed stamp. And once that is done, I'll pull it out and I'm going to pour over some clear embossing powder. So I'm going to use my Zig Cling Color Real Brush pens to color her in. But let's melt the embossing powder first. It makes the image really shiny and dark black. It also creates raised lines around your image, which is great for watercoloring. It keeps each section contained, and here it is all ready to go. I'll have all of the Zig brushes that I'm using to color her in listed over at my blog. I looked on Google for some inspiration for fairy wings, and I saw a really pretty picture with the wings colored in with blues and pinks and even browns. And so that's what I'm going to try and recreate here. So I'm starting off with the blue and blending it with my blender brush with a purple. I do come in with another layer in a minute just to make my colors a little bit darker, but I really love the combination of these colors. Next, I'm using a light flesh color. And I am going over the lines, but I just want a nice blend between all of these colors. And then I come in with a little bit of a darker brown. This is called beige. And then I blend it together with my blender brush. I use the paper above the fairy to clean off my blender brush so that I don't contaminate the colors. I don't want to put the brown in the blues, for instance. This just helps me to clean it off. I'm going to be fussy cutting her out, so it's okay that I'm using the top of the paper that way. This set does have the coordinating die, and I'm going to have to pick that up, but I did fussy cut her out. You can also purchase this Stampin' Die as a bundle set, and I'll have all of these links in the description box below, as well as over at my blog. And now I need to put a little bit of sparkle down, because of course you have to do that with fairies. So I'm using my blender brush to apply this clear glitter from my glitter brush. I'm not using the actual glitter brush pen because it puts down a lot of color and I wanted to control it just a little bit more. So I'm just picking that up with my Zig blender brush And then I can, of course, clean it off when I need to. You can't see the glitter now, but I'll hold this up and then you can get a look at how pretty that glitter is on her wings. And now for her other wing, I'm going to follow as closely as I can to what I did on her first wing. And I'll speed this up a little bit. But I really like how the browns and the purples blend. It leaves kind of a little pinkish hue in between them. So the June release for Scrappy Tails Crafts went live at the beginning of June. And I will have many more videos coming up using some of the beautiful products from this release. It includes a lot of stamps and dies and even some stencils this time and some hot foil plates. It's themed around Shakespeare's A Midsummer's Night Dream, and I highly encourage you to go and check out this very beautiful collection. So for her hair, I started with the highlights with a yellow, and then I went in with a dark brown marker and blended those two together, and it left me with a red color. And then her dress, I'm just going to color in with some grays, and I'll do that off camera. The little rosebuds in her hair, I'm coloring in with a pink and then a very bright green color for the leaves. And of course I added more of the clear glitter over her other wing. And here it is all colored in except for her dress. I did fussy cut this out, and here it is all cut out. And now to put a background sky in front of her, I wanted to have something really pretty for her to be looking at. So I have a piece of lilac blossom cardstock, and I wanted to add a little more interest to the cardstock. So I'm adding black soot and wilted violet and blending those out. And then I'll let the wilted violet ink fade out so you see the actual color of the cardstock at the bottom. I did the same thing with a piece of Cosmic Sky blue cardstock because I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use, and they both look really stunning. But I end up using the purple cardstock this time. So let's pull out the cover plate die. I have my wire snips, and I'm just going to carefully snip all of these pieces apart. It snips out really easily. And then once I have all of the insides cut out, you can bend a lot of them apart that way. But I like to cut off all of the steel bits on the edges so I don't stab myself with them. And then they die cut a lot more cleanly if you don't have the little steel bits sticking out. So I am going to be using some of the stars from this set. And there are a lot of goodies on the inside. So here's the moon and two of the stars. I cut this frame out with brushed silver cardstock. It's just a pretty subtle, shiny cardstock. And now I'm going to tape the dies on my purple cardstock that I'm going to cut out. But I put that on top just to get an idea of where I want to die cut these. And here they are all die cut out. Aren't those pretty? Just going to very gently peel up the craft tape so I don't rip my panel. And then behind this panel, I'm going to put some vellum. This will help diffuse the color of the easy lights. And I'm just going to tape this in place with just some regular Scotch tape. Let me flip this over and show you, but it's just even pretty just like that. But once you add the easy lights, it is just magical. I'm going to tape my fairy in place temporarily here as well with the Scotch tape. And now to build up my front panel, I want my fairy raised up so it looks like there's a division between her and the night sky. I'm using a double layer of foam tape, and then I can cut that in half so it's a little more narrow. I bent it over on itself so it is a double layer, and it's easier to cut when you have the release paper still on it. And then I'm just going to frame out this panel. So I'll put a layer of tape at the top as well as at the sides. I used a double layer of the foam tape so that it will be the same height as the easy light. That way you won't have a bulge in one spot of your card from the easy light. You can buy some really great foam tape from Pear Blossom Press. They even sell a layer of foam tape that is already the double thickness size. So you wouldn't have to add 2 layers. It's just already done for you, and I'm going to have to pick some of that up. So now let's take apart the Easy Lights. It comes with the batteries, and then you can just gently pull it apart to take off one of the lights, and then gently pull the wires apart. I'm going to adhere this down on top of my purple panel, and then kind of threading it through my night sky panel. But let's put the battery in, and I'll show you what these look like. So much fun, and they're really bright. And you get 3 lights. So I'll use a little bit of double-sided adhesive on the back of the Easy Light. Let me just trim that down to size. My fairy will be hiding this Easy Light so you won't see it. So I'll adhere this down. I have a really small paper punch that I'm going to be using to punch 3 holes in the front of this panel. You can, of course, use your craft pick or whatever you have to poke the holes in your panels. But this was just the perfect size. I'm just going to punch 3 holes right next to each other. And then I can easily thread these through. There are a lot of fabulous videos on the Pear Blossom Press YouTube channel that show different ways that you can attach these to your cards. I think the norm is to put it behind your panel, but because I wanted my fairy to be lifted up off of my main panel, I needed to put it on the front of this panel. And then I can thread these through to the back of the panel. I have one more to thread through. And then I'm going to use more of the Scotch tape on the front to just tape it in place. So here they all are at the back. Now I'll flip it over and then tape these wires down on the front. And I'm going to tape them on the back as well, but first let's put these in place. I'm going to turn on the light to make sure I have the light positioned so it's facing the moon and the stars. If you happen to have it sitting the wrong way, it's really bright, so I don't think it would matter. But I just want the brightest side to be facing the stars. And here is a look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, now let's tape the next one in place. I'm using very thin slivers of the tape. I don't want to cover up the vellum that's going to be seen through the other side of the card. Now for the moon. I'll flip it over and make sure I have those taped in place correctly, and it looks good. I'm going to add more tape over these wires. I just don't want them to shift at all. And this will just hold them in place tight. I'm going to add a little more double-sided adhesive behind my fairy. I just want to have kind of an even dimension of foam tape so that it doesn't sag when I send it through the mail. I also want to protect the battery and the light by surrounding it with the foam tape. So let's put the frame on our panel now. I'm going to pull out the white gel pen and add even more stars to this night sky scene. I'm going to make little dots and thicker dots, just a variety. This just adds a cute touch to the card. I'm going to attach this to a white top folding card base using some more of the double-sided adhesive. I'll just peel off the release paper with my craft tool. And then I'm going to attach my card to the card base, and I like to do this by flipping it upside down. This way, if I need to trim off some of the card base at the bottom, I can easily do that. This one lined up perfectly. For the sentiment, I didn't want to cover up the fairy or my night sky, so I'm going to put it on the inside. And again, this one just says, wishing you a magical day. You can also use a stamp that says push here so that your recipient will know that it's a magic light up card. But I'm just going to leave mine blank and then let my recipient know to do this on the inside of the card. But here it is all done. Isn't that just magical and pretty? So definitely give this a try. Oh my goodness, I wish I had tried this years ago. Let me turn off my desk lights to give you a really good look at how bright this is. I'll have a list in the description box below of all of the HOP participants so you can see all of their beautiful projects. Scrappy Tails and Pear Blossom Press are both giving away a $25 store credit, so make sure you comment below for a chance to win, and you have until July 9th. Thanks for spending some of your time with me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.